A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitan Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to today's video blog. Brothers and sisters, recently, there was a release of intimate photographs of Hitler's wife. The release of these photographs have been controversial. They're very intimate photographs of her reading a book, of her rowing on a lake in an intimate setting. Supposedly some of these images were from the time that Hitler died and her herself taking a suicide pill along with her husband. So where does the controversy come from these issues? Well, many of the white supremacists say in the comments section below these images that Hitler was a great man. And then it begins the controversy with the Jewish rights organizations that are very much trying to protect what they feel the values of those who died in the Holocaust. But then on the other side, you have an opportunity for the Aryan Brotherhood to rise up and communicate their views, which is their admiration for Hitler. In World War I, we have over 4 million people dying. And as you know, war crimes were done throughout this era over and over again, repeatedly, to men, women, and children. Well, you know, today my subject doesn't deal exactly with the photographs. I want to move you as my viewers' minds beyond this debate of the photographs, Hitler's wife, and this whole picture, because it's bringing up new emotions that many people have forgotten. I ran into a comment that motivated this video blog, and I'd like to read it right now in order to break off into what my discussion is about the images. The anonymous commenter commented the following: and Hitler was a military genius and political genius. He was an extremely charismatic leader. He did many things to improve the German economy, including creating Volkswagen. Because of this, his people followed him right into a war, of which they barely knew. The Nazi Party, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, did some incredible things. Terrible, wonderful, and truly disgusting things. Let's not forget this war. A great war. And let's not pretend that we are any better than the Germans that were tricked by this psychological politician. Politicians around the world, in the United States and in Europe, are promoting war against the Middle East. This war is unwarranted. It has no value other than a monetary value. The oil and other natural resources that are being extracted due to this campaign amongst our government to fight against the war on terror is not doing anything but brutalizing an innocent group of people. That's women and children. Currently today, there is a genocide against the Muslims, a campaign that is equivalent to the time of when the Germans were killing the Jews, but yet most of us as Americans stand by. My Jewish viewers, just in case you don't know, that currently amongst the Muslim, there is a repeating process that is exactly like what you've seen with your genocide happening to the Muslims, but yet many of your people casually sit aside and watch this. Crimes that brutalize women, that brutalize children, and crimes against humanity go on without being stopped. This video blog speaks to this. It speaks to the injustices against women and children, and it speaks against the injustices against genocide. If your boy got slapped down the street for selling some dope, you don't go and beat up his woman. That's against a rule. A rule of leaving the women and children out of your nonsense and craziness. So in this society, I ask the question again, why are we brutalizing the women? And in this society, why can't we recognize that this is a current genocide against our Muslim brothers and sisters? So let's just make it clear. We live in a society or a current era that has been going on for over 100 years, that is making genocide and crimes against human beings, including women and children, allowable. In this photograph, we just see a regular, happy young woman. But it stirs up old emotions that deal with a forgotten era. Man feels that he's not prone to do genocide to another human being or another civilization. But in this so-called modern era of enlightenment that we so-called claim, where secular ideologies and non-religious ideologies rule, we find that there is a large opening for genocidal activities amongst this planet. What I mean, simply put, is the release of these photographs has not shown us how much we've grown, but how much we've taken a step back as human beings. So as a result, something small happened. A photograph of Hitler's wife to remind us all that still to this day, there are supporters of Hitler. And still to this day, there are victims of Hitler. And the reality is that we're willing to produce more. And what does that mean? That we haven't learned anything from World War I or World War II. Now we're stepping into an arena with killing Muslim women and children. And this, I don't care who you are, is wrong. So I speak out against any violent acts against the Muslim world, today and in the future. And I ask that you take action to report to your local leaders to stop this violence. And I also ask Muslims to stop fighting Muslims, whether it's for tribal wars or for other issues that are outside of my scope. Muslims should not be fighting Muslims, nor should the West fight the Muslims. If there's any reconciliation on this so-called war and terror that's going to happen between Muslims and non-Muslims, it has to come through peaceful action. We truly know that there's a value for genocide. The ruling power benefits from eradicating and criminalizing one group. And that's what's going on today. The billions of dollars that are being made over lands being in chaos. Every moment, Iraq has no functioning government and doesn't think for its own. Somebody's coming through the back door and stealing that oil. It's powerful what the gift of a photograph can do for civilization. This is your brother Umar Abdurrahim signing out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.